My life is a life of failure. It's a disease. I mean, it's something you have to do.
5,127 prototypes, 14 years. That's how long James Dyson worked to invent a revolutionary vacuum cleaner. Would you be patient and persistent enough to hold out that long? Dyson was rewarded handsomely for his efforts. He's built personal fortune. His company is worth tens of billions, and he owns 100% of it. But he's come a long way from losing his father before the age of 10 and getting his first company stolen from him. And the result of his challenging upbringing is that James Dyson might just be the most persistent entrepreneur of all time. This is his story. Born in Norfolk, England, Dyson's childhood was not easy. Tragedy struck early when he lost his father to cancer at the age of 9. For the rest of his life, Dyson has said that loss fostered a sense of being a misfit or outsider. Here's a quote from his autobiography, Against the Odds. "His death put me at a great disadvantage compared to the other boys. It made me feel like an underdog, someone who was always going to have things taken away from him. It made me feel that I was alone in the world. I had no one to help me through my boyish problems and no one to cite his own useful experiences as an example to me when I thought I might be troubled by something no one else had ever been through. Life became something I had to make up as I went along, and I had to work everything out for myself. I suppose it made me a fighter. It also made me very competitive. Instead of paying attention in class, he read books and daydreamed. When it came to sports, he ran. A solo endeavor befitting a renegade, independent entrepreneur. At an early age, he also liked to paint from memory, enhancing his skills in creation and design. He also began to study great inventors. His favorites included Buckminster Fuller, whose famous invention, the geodesic dome, is a spherical structure formed by a network of triangles. It's known for its strength, lightweight construction, and efficient use of materials. Fuller also fundamentally rethought how houses and cars should be constructed. He also studied Isambard Kingdom Brunel, a prolific British engineer who revolutionized railway engineering. He was the chief engineer of the Great Western Railway, one of the wonders of Victorian Britain, and designed 3 groundbreaking steamboat ships that were among the first to use iron in their construction and were among the largest and most advanced of their time. He also revered Thomas Edison, who of course was renowned for the incandescent light bulb, the phonograph, and the motion picture camera, which each transformed daily life. But Dyson couldn't learn everything he needed to know from reading about great inventors of the past. He would need to learn some hard lessons through experience. Before the vacuum cleaners that would make him a household name, Dyson made waves with a simple yet ingenious invention, the ball bearer. This innovative twist on the traditional wheelbarrow replaced the typical wheel with a ball, offering better maneuverability and stability. It exemplified the out-of-the-box thinking that Dyson had learned from studying Fuller, Edison, and Brunel. But Dyson had overlooked the business failure by his idols. Edison eventually lost control of his company, and J.P. Morgan turned it into General Electric. Like Edison, Dyson brought in outside investors to accelerate his firm's expansion into additional product lines. Those investors sat on his board and eventually forced Dyson out of the company he had founded. From the ashes of his first company would rise a new firm greater than what came before.
What I learned from the ball bearer experience, which was not very happy, it wasn't a family business, it wasn't owned by Deirdre and I. And the thing I learned from that is that it's much better to not have outside investors and to be able to do what you want to do without worrying about what other people think. And if you're going to fail at something, it's better to fail because your idea was wrong than fail because someone else's idea was wrong. That's no fun.
While Dyson had been manufacturing the ball bearer, he kept running into the same issue. His company lost loads of production time when the equipment got dirty and stopped working properly. As he searched for a solution, he came across a sawmill that had cyclones installed to suck dust out of the machinery. Woodworking continued uninterrupted while sawdust and debris collected elsewhere. It worked brilliantly. which led Dyson to wonder, why do Hoover vacuums suck so bad? Could he replace their smelly, annoying bags with a similar cyclone? When he shared the idea, he was met with disbelief. If there was a better way to build a vacuum, Hoover would have done it already. Luckily, Dyson remained a misfit, insulated from others' opinions. He embarked on a 14-year odyssey to make his new idea into a viable company.
In fact, it took me 5 years and 5,000 prototypes, and it was frustrating. There were 5,126 failures until I got the last one that worked. But during that journey, you learn so much.
In 1983, he completed his first working prototype of a bagless vacuum, which he called the G-Force. But Dyson had two problems: manufacturing and distribution. Dyson had already maxed out his line of credit at the bank, and he still needed to finance production for the first run of products.
And I went around all the people who should have lent me some money, helped in startups, and they had two fundamental objections. One is that I was going into manufacturing, and anyone going to manufacturing must be an idiot. And the second point was that I'm not a professional manufacturer. I'm not a professional in the domestic appliance industry.
Eventually, he got a bank to approve a £1 million loan, but he had to put up his house as collateral. Financing was solved for the time being, but the market was not ready for Dyson's cutting-edge offer. Like Jobs and Ford, he didn't focus group his way to a new product. He followed his gut. That also means that he hadn't thought about distribution, and that was a problem.
Now going to sell it, how? I mean, what's going to be your manufacturing outlet in this country? Is it going through the shops? How can we get hold of one of these wonderful machines?
It's initially being sold in England direct, door to door.
See, this was the 80s. When people needed a new vacuum, they'd go to a vacuum store or a large department store, and those vacuum store owners weren't interested in a new vacuum design. The old one worked just fine. In fact, they really liked selling new vacuum bags to everyone who owned a Hoover. They didn't have an incentive to disrupt their own businesses and lower their profits. Undeterred, Dyson launched the G-Force in Japan through catalog sales in 1986. It was a success, winning awards and providing the financial backing Dyson needed to start his own company. By 1993, Dyson established his own manufacturing company in the UK, and the first Dyson vacuum cleaner, the DC-01, was released in the UK market. It was a resounding success, quickly becoming the best-selling vacuum cleaner in the country. After establishing his firm as the leader in premium vacuums, Dyson set his innovative sights on other markets, carrying his unique approach to product development. His line of inventions expanded to include the Dyson bladeless fans, a product that challenged conventional thinking of what a fan can be. Next was his Airblade hand dryer, which spread rapidly across public restrooms with its energy-efficient rapid air drying technology. Then came the hair care products, which include the supersonic hair dryer, the Air Wrap styler, and the Corral straightener. Today, Dyson is estimated to have annual revenues north of $8 billion. And James and his wife Deirdre own it entirely, making their net worth in the tens of billions. Dyson's story is one of undeterred perseverance, innovative thinking, and unwavering commitment to customer satisfaction. His journey teaches us to embrace an outsider perspective, to challenge established norms, and to stay steadfast in our pursuit of transformative solutions, even when faced with significant challenges. Dyson has not only created an array of groundbreaking products, but has shown tremendous courage in being willing to take the road less traveled and daring to challenge the status quo. If you want to learn about another disruptive entrepreneur, check out our video on David Ogilvy, America's Greatest Ad Man.